What's going on, Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to do an overview of the Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 4, so please stay tuned. Okay, let's look at this omnibus that has been a long time coming for some of us. Let's look at the spine. This is Volume 4, and the back, which they've done with every one of these, is put all the covers of the books collected here, and then the contents of the book down here. And yes, I decided to go with the variant cover. The direct market cover has the cover to issue 135. That one is still available, I believe, at places like In Stock Trades, Cheap Graphic Novels, Tales of Wonder, places like that. I don't think it's sold out yet. But as you can see, I am a fan of the variants because the covers are collected in here. I know a lot of people hated on that Volume 2 Humberto Ramos, but actually the Mike McCone cover isn't that great either. But let's look inside of the dust jacket. And as you can tell, it's just a bland black cover like they've been doing since Volume 1. But let's look at the inside of this thing and the binding. Okay, let's crack it open. So why is this good news for us collectors that love the omnibus format? Well, because it means that we might get an Uncanny X-Men omnibus coming up, or a Fantastic Four. Now, we've had an Avengers one, but we love seeing Volume 4s because it means there could be a possible future for Volume 4s of other books. Now, the contents of this are Amazing Spider-Man 105 to 142, and Giant Size Superheroes 1 and Marvel Superheroes 14. One of my favorite things about these collections here from the Silver Age is the addition of the letter pages. I love that they add that on here. The covers and also the forwards and afterwards of the Marvel Masterworks, which these comics were originally collected in. Alright, so a lot of things have happened in Spider-Man in the last, I guess they'd been around for about 10 years now, the title, since he debuted in Amazing Fantasy 15. So this book kind of shakes things up. A lot of things happen in here. You get the first appearance of Man-Wolf, you get the first appearance of the Punisher, and towards the end, you get the beginnings of what is known as the classic Clone Saga. No, he did not change his costume. This is the story where his mask is taken, so he has to go to a costume place and borrow that mask for a little bit. Oh yeah, I remember there's also a story collected in here. It's a supposed wedding of Doc Ock and Aunt May. I'm not gonna spoil much in case I realize these stories are over 40 years old, but some people have not read them. So I'm not gonna talk about much spoilers. I do want to mention one book in particular, and that's this one here. I think this is the classic one that a lot of people probably know the plot to, and that is issue 121 and issue 122. This is the story of Gwen Stacy, and the story is called The Night Gwen Stacy Died. It's interesting because if you read Jerry Conway's interviews and how the story came about, like John Romita wanted to kill, this is John Romita Sr., wanted to kill Aunt May, but he was like, yeah, but old people die all the time. We should have somebody get killed that means something to Peter. It's a very tragic death. I mean, somebody young, and also he feels responsible for killing her when she falls off the bridge, and he tries to catch her, and also the demise of the Green Goblin. And a lot of this stuff has been retconned, and things change over the years, but that story was very poignant in the life of Peter Parker back then. There's Man-Wolf. There's actually the return of Man-Wolf. And let's see what else. Most of this stuff is written by Jerry Conway, who was 19 years old. I think, yeah, he was 19 years old at the time. That's insane. The first guy that wrote Spider-Man right after Stan Lee. Most of the art is done by John Romita Sr., and then Gil Kane and Ross Andrew. And here's the first appearance of the Punisher from issue 129. Hey, the Spider Buggy. How can I not talk about that? That's awesome, right? Yes, the classic Aunt May Doc Ock story. I'll flip a little more through here. The Return of the Molten Man. And let's look at the extras. That much of the book is extras. That's pretty cool. Let's see. House ads, reprints. You know, it's funny, as I flip through here, a few months ago, somebody broke the news on Twitter, I think, that in Mexico, they continued telling stories with Gwen Stacy in them. Like, they never killed her off. So they had original artists come in and draw stories with her still being part of the story. I thought that was really cool, and I hope one day that stuff gets reprinted here in America. Let's see. How young Stan Lee looked back then. I love these extras in the back. They're really cool. Yeah, here we go. This is what I love. Original pages, original cover art, sketches. Oh, hell yeah, the layouts of the panels. I love looking at all this stuff. And since I don't really get the artist editions of these things, it's really nice to look at the behind the scenes this way. It's really cool. This is all the stuff from Gil Kane. This is, yeah, the oh, wow. I think that's the first time I've ever seen this. The pencil layout of issue 121, where she falls off the bridge. That's really cool. And finished art with the inks before the colors. Let's see, the rough sketch and character design of the Punisher, originally called the Grim Reaper, the Executioner. I've seen that before. And the cover. And then the Marvel Tales reprints with the covers here in the back. And let's see, this is the introduction from Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin. So this is the part where they collect the collected edition covers. And let's see here. The Death of the Stacy's premiere hardcover, Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock, and then of course this. So in case you do have the direct market version, you still get the cover on the inside. You could probably tell how nice it held when I was flipping the pages. I love that these new omnibuses, for the most part, every once in a while we get a Miles Morales one, holds together really nice. So it's some really good sewn binding in here. I love the way the spines all look together. It's really nice, and it looks nice on the bookshelf. Don't let this one freak you out. This is the first printing of the Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. I heard the second printing was a little bit thicker, which is crazy. Now, the third printing is standard, what you would consider standard these days. It's a lot thinner, because the pages are thinner, the binding is better. So, this is what it looks like, together with its brothers. And that is everything collected in this omnibus. Please let me know in the comments down below if you decided to pick it up, if you passed up on it, or if you're waiting for a reprint of volumes 2 and 3 to come out before you make up your mind about this one. And if you did pick it up, which cover did you go for? Did you get the direct market cover, or did you get the standard edition? Don't forget that this Friday we have our 3-year anniversary live episode at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it's the Ask Us Anything episode. So we'd love for you to join us. If you enjoy the content of this video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and like button if you enjoyed what you saw. And if you enjoy our channel, please think about joining our Patreon, where you get exclusive things. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.